Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is MTGGhoulDude, and this is my comprehensive guide to Halloween commanders. If you're looking to build something a little bit spooky, a little bit scary, maybe just plain out terrifying, here's a few suggestions and a couple build arounds you could throw together, maybe by Halloween to play at your LGS or at your friend's house. So, we're going to go with the big bads, the ones we all know and love. We're going to go vampires, spirits, zombies, werewolves, warlocks. And then I'm going to throw in a couple miscellaneous, like, they fit into the Halloween theme. So let's go on ahead and start it off with the vampires, starting off with Edgar Markov. Edgar Markov is probably one of the most heinous villain that you could bring to a table, because everybody's going to automatically target you, but you're going to have a good time watching them fight through a horde of vampire tokens. But be careful, like I said, they will come for you if they see this one. Next up we have Olivia O'Darin. Ooh, now this girl, I've seen her played a good few times, and anytime she is played, if you can let her untap and have some mana, it is about to get bad, especially if you can form infinite mana in those colors. You will not have a board anymore, because as long as they can protect Olivia, they will steal all your creatures. This is about as bad as Memnarch. So if you wanted to build it, it'd be pretty fun. Take your friends' creatures, play with them. Then we have Lord Xander the Collector. Now, I'm not against hand disruption, milling, or sacrificing, but Lord Xander here just takes the cake. He brings it all the way full send, and you are going to discard half your hand. And if you build this deck right, I mean, there's not much you can do about it, because alright, well, I'm gonna target and kill him or exile him. Guess what? Nope, I'm gonna sacrifice him. You're still gonna do what I want you to do, and then I'm going to bring him back. And then we have one of our more competitive options in the list, Anji Falconwrath. If you were looking to play CEDH, here's a good starter. This really rolls up in the Madness deck archetype, which Rakdos is all about most of the time in your more competitive decks. But Anji is really good. It's a 3-drop, 1/3 with haste, and it's card advantage on a stick. I mean, even if you don't use it for competitive purposes, you still do have a good chance on the table if you build Anji right. Next, we're going to move on to spirits. Starting off with Geist of St. Traff. For 1, a white, and a blue, it's a 2/2. And the best thing about it is it's hexproof. So you don't need boots. It comes out with its own half pair it's got one boot on already. But you will want to try and make sure that this can get through, because even though it does have hexproof, it does not have flying. So you will want to try and find a way to give it flying or some type of evasion to where you can consistently make sure you keep making that extra angel. But, I mean, a commander that has hexproof is pretty much about as bad as it can get. Then in continuing the spirits, we have Millicent Restless Revenant. Wow, I can't read. And it costs 1 for each spirit you already control. So if you're, like I said, if you built this, tribally, it's going to cost a lot less. But whenever it deals combat damage to a player and you get a spirit token, you just keep building it up. That commander tax keeps going down. Next, King of the Oathbreakers. Now this one I have seen built personally, and it is dangerous. Especially if you can find a way to say, oh, well, if it targets something of mine, it doesn't matter, because I'm going to keep blinking it out. I'm going to keep phasing it out. And whenever it phases back in, guess what? You make more spirits. So this is just an army in a can just waiting to blow up and come and get you. And then whenever you start giving them all evasion, it's just really about to get bad. Then we come up to the more competitive option, Brago King Eternal, with all the best things about Brago. Of course, he has flying, his own part of evasion. And then he has the ability to blink permanents you control. which it goes without saying should not be a thing. But this is like if you built a deck to do a cool thing, you're about to do that cool thing 4 or 5 times. And if you put the right amount of cards in it that allow you to copy abilities, you might do it 7 or 8 times in a turn if you build it right. I'm not saying you could, but I'm just saying, you also might want to limit it, because people will come after you if they see a good Brago deck. This is a warning and a hey, how about this? Try this deck building. So let's go on ahead and move on to the main ones that if I were to ever build them, and I probably already have, I just probably forgot about them, or just in general. Zombies, the best of the best. We have our competitive option with Will Help the Rock Cleaver, but it could also be a casual option. So for 2 and a blue and a black, you make whenever a zombie you control dies, if it didn't have decayed, you create a 2/2. It's cool. At the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice a zombie. It could be that same decay token, and if you do, you draw a card. That's really good. And now we have some of the ones from the past. We have Scarab God for 3 a blue and a black. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses X life, and you scry where X is the number of zombies you control. This can get out of hand because this is each opponent loses X life. If you can find a way to just do it on somebody else's turn, make an infinite amount of zombies, guess what? Everybody's about to die. It doesn't matter, they die. And then we have the classic option, the vintage option, Grimgrin, the Corpseborn. And it's not great, but this is a cool option if you want to throw back to, Halloween's past. And, it's not bad. It could be better. But, with modern times come modern solutions. And Grimgrin, although was a goodie, is no longer it's no longer one of the best ones. But he can still rock the world. And then we have also the more competitive, strictly competitive option, Verena Lich Queen. I mean, you attack zombies, you draw that many cards, and you discard it, and you gain that much life. You're cycling through. And if you find ways to just keep throwing the graveyard back into the library, you just make it a whole lot easier on yourself, because you can just keep going and going and going. And that second ability doesn't really matter if you're exiling them, but just saying, if you're not consistently throwing your graveyard back into your library, you can make more zombies with it. And then we go into the werewolves, starting off with Ulrich of the Crawling Horde. This is an oldie. It's not one of the best, and it probably won't be for a while, especially after I give you guys the suggestions on this video you may not have thought of. So we got Ulrich. We all know what he does. He transforms. And whenever he transforms, you fight a non-werewolf. It's board control, but, he does have the downside of having to flip back if you cast 2 or more spells on your turn. Now the new boy on the block, Tovalar. This one's actually pretty good if you're running a werewolf deck. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more werewolves, it becomes night automatically, flip of a switch, and then you get to transform any human werewolves you control. And this is his daybound form, and this is his nightbound form. And it says whenever a wolf or werewolf you control deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. And if they get trample and double strike, well, guess what? You're going through. And then he also has that Kessig Wolf Run ability on him. So that's actually pretty neat. Now this is one that I saw that I thought was really good. This was a recommendation by EDH Rec, and I'm not gonna lie, this was a really good one to me, because this is one you don't see coming. It's Saskia, because you get to choose a player, and whenever you deal combat damage to a player, it deals that much player damage to the chosen player. You can just keep cycling through. You can take 2 players out with one, and then take the last one out too, by yourself. As long as they don't board wipe you 100 million times, you might be in a good position. And then we have Naiath of the Dire Hunt. This is more of your religiously werewolf built decks, because if you're just looking to fight everything that comes onto the board like a Eula would, and that's your prerogative, because you know that's not gonna be bad, because you get your card draw and you get double power, and it has to be blocked on during combat. That's actually pretty good. Back to the beginning. Let's go to our warlocks. And when this is a newly formed tribe, it is not fully fleshed out yet. We do have a bunch of eroded creatures that are now warlocks, along with their other subtypes. But this is a warlock, the wizards, and I wanted to showcase these four in particular because they are, or these three in particular, because they are they are at the forefront of the warlock tribe. Agatha, the Vile Cauldron, hey, she's just looking to get big and help other big stuff not be as expensive. Hilda of the Icy Crown, hey, she wants to make friends. She's looking to make Olaf's on the easy, and she wants to do that very quickly, very fast. Ariet of the Charmed Apple, there is a guy that I know. His name is Brian Canada for Cure for the Common Game. Look him up. He's got some decks that he's on the way to throwing a whole bunch of decks coming down. But if you watch his videos, they're coming. If you don't, look him up. He's already got 900 something videos. But he has an Ireti of the Charmed Apple. I don't know how to say her name. But he's got her deck built, and it's all about making other people's stuff good so they can't hit her. In my opinion, that's actually pretty good, especially in the bigger games that we play. And then we have one of the more synergistical ones, because Lindy, she is all about them curses, and it can be a tedious game whenever you have a Lindy on the board, and especially if she's just taking players back to back. So watch out for that one. And now we come up to the miscellaneous section of the video, starting out with Raphael, Fiendish Savior. This is for your demons, devils, imps, tieflings. They all get +1/+1 to lifelink. So if you're looking to build around those, you're in a good spot. And at the beginning of your end step, if you put a card in the graveyard from anywhere, you make a devil. It's actually pretty cool, and that devil will have +1/+1 to lifelink. So when it dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. That's lifelink damage. If it's not, correct me and leave it down in the comments below. Then we have Shelob of Child of Ungoliant. This is for your spider decks. And these also deal with you can use spiders to fight if you really want to. And, you know, it's not a bad deck, especially if you can make copies of some of the better creatures on the board later on. And now we're about to get into the OG, the best of the best, the original Halloween Town King, the Reaper King. Reaper King holds a very special place in my heart, because Reaper King was probably the scariest thing I had ever seen after zombies. Zombies do some scary stuff, but this Reaper King is just a monster. If you can't stop the Reaper King, if you can build the Reaper King and you can keep him rolling, you will be the table's nightmare before Christmas. And I'm telling you, I'll put that on everything that I got, because this is one heck of a commander, especially if you can keep popping scarecrows out on the battlefield. You keep popping, you keep dropping, you can keep popping. That's going to sound horrible, but it is what it is. This is probably one of the scariest decks you can build for the Halloween times. But that's going to be it for today, everybody. I hope you found this video entertaining. If this is the kind of content you like, you want to see more, remember, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know down in the comments below if there were some ones that you prefer of these tribes for the Halloween time. Let me know down in the comments below. I want to know what everybody thinks. I know I really wanted to put goblins, but you know, everybody... Goblins are not much of a Halloween-y theme, even though, you know, ghouls and goblins is, you know, is a saying in some parts of the world. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to complain. But like I said, hey, we're up to 132 at my last check subscribers, and I appreciate every single one of you. I couldn't have done it without all you guys, and I can't wait to see where we keep going. But that is going to be it for today, and I'll see you guys next time in the grave.